lady that did it, she got in there. I mean, she made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us on a Wednesday that found the Jaguars back at the Miller Electric Center, beginning preparations for the San Francisco 49ers. Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Pregame coverage beginning at 11 a.m., taking you all the way late into the night with the fifth quarter with myself, Gerald Ingram, and Leon Searcy. 2 hours after the Jaguars and the 49ers go final. We will spend a lot of time on Jacksonville and San Francisco this evening. I was down in the Jaguar locker room earlier today at the Miller Electric Center. I went one-on-one with defensive back Andrew Wingard and linebacker Devin Lloyd, and you will hear those conversations tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Also, Leon Searcy, aforementioned. You'll hear him on the fifth quarter with me on Sunday. Leon visits with us weekly during the football season here on Hacker After Dark, so we'll talk to Leon about the Jaguars' 2-1 start. Again, the injury report is out later than usual because of a West Coast trip. So the Jaguars are basically releasing their injury report when San Francisco releases theirs. The big news, I guess, is Deleon Brown did not practice today with that shoulder. We know he left in the second quarter of the win over Houston and did not return. Everybody else was full or limited. Ezra Cleveland, Patrick McCarry, Wyatt Milam, and Bashal Tootin all limited. Brian Thomas was full. That's pretty good. 3 weeks into the year to only have one guy, one contributor, not practice, and Deleon Brown, that's pretty good. You look at San Francisco, they had 15 guys on their injury report. 15. Couple of them were rest days. Bosa's on there. We know he's out for the year. But as Ballou said, about 11 guys out of those 15, their status for Sunday is definitely up in the air. So as I mentioned, my conversations with Andrew Wingard and Devin Lloyd in the Jaguar locker room coming up inside of the next 25 minutes. Also, former Jaguar Pro Bowl offensive tackle Leon Searcy. And that's all here in hour number 1 of a Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
Jaguars are 2-1. That's reality. That's where they are. What do I always say? June, July, and August. Months of hope, right? Hope springs eternal in those summer months for all 32 NFL fan bases. In September, reality tends to strike you in the face, good or bad. And for the Jaguars, it's pretty good. 2-1. I'll take that. If I would have told you guys 3 weeks ago the Jaguars would be 2-1 after 3 weeks, who would have said no to that? I don't think anybody would. I think we're all pretty thrilled that they're 2-1. Probably should be 3-0. You could also make the argument they could probably be 1-2 if Nico Collins doesn't fumble that ball. I almost think Cincinnati or Houston cancels out the Cincinnati game. I'll take 2-1 because with 5 minutes to go on Sunday against Houston, they were staring 1-2 in the face. But the good news for the Jaguars is they're 2-1, and guys, they haven't played very well at all on offense. In fact, one could argue they've been pretty bad on offense. According to Daniel Griffiths of Action Sports, we have Daniel on all the time. He's the analytics guy. He's the number cruncher. Daniel does a terrific job. Jaguars are fourth, or actually they have 4 interceptions. Trevor has 4 interceptions. That's tied for second in the National Football League with those 4 picks. The Jaguars, 15 offensive penalties, just offense. 15 offensive penalties is tied for the most in the NFL 3 weeks in. And the Jaguars 13 drops is the most in the National Football League. You look at the individual numbers. If I were to told you guys 3 weeks ago, prior to the Carolina game, that after 3 weeks of play, heading into week 4, going out of San Francisco, if I would have told you Brian Thomas Jr. in 3 games had 7 catches for 115 yards and no touchdowns, if I would have told you Travis Hunter in 3 games had 10 catches for 76 yards and no touchdowns, you would have thought, uh-oh. BTJ and Travis Hunter, 17 catches combined in 3 games for basically 190 yards and no touchdowns between the two of them. Trevor Lawrence in 3 games is completing 55.8% of his passes. That is awful. A lot of drops in there. Absolutely. But 55.8 completion percentage is awful. 4 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions thrown. So let's take stock here. The first 3 weeks for the offense. 13 drops. The most drops in the National Football League. 15 offensive penalties. Tied for most in the National Football League. 4 interceptions thrown. Tied for second in the National Football League. BTJ, 7 catches in 3 games for 115 yards and no touchdowns. Travis Hunter, 10 catches in 3 games for 76 yards and no touchdowns. And yet, despite all of that, the Jaguars are 2-1 and have looked pretty good, all things considered, 3 weeks into the year. If this defense keeps playing the way they are, and they begin to get any resemblance of help from the offense, well, how good could this team be? Now, the defense can only hold on for so long. There will come a lull from the defense. We saw it a little bit in Cincinnati already. The offense has to pick it up. No doubt. This cannot continue. The offense has to produce at a higher level. I say all that to say this. Quite frankly, as bad as the offense has been, hasn't mattered. Because the Jaguars are still out of the gate at 2-1. Are they lucky to be 2-1? You might be able to argue that. But as we always say, September is the month of reality. And what reality has shown me 3 weeks in is even though they don't have the best stats or the best numbers or they've made some mistakes, certainly, this Jaguar football team might be good, right? Are we starting to consider that fact? They might be good? I'll tell you one thing I've already learned 3 weeks in, and it's not debatable to me. They are clearly much better than they ever were in 2024. Again, the 2-1 Jaguars, the 3-0 San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Earlier today, down at the Miller Electric Center, I was in the Jaguar locker room, had the opportunity to go one-on-one with defensive back Andrew Wingard and linebacker Devin Lloyd. You will hear those conversations next as the Jaguars prepare for a trip to the West Coast. By the way, we'll get into more of this tomorrow night. Denmark, I don't know if you saw my tweet earlier. Do you know what the Jaguars' record is in the last 12 true road games they've had? Meaning in other people's stadiums, not in London.
Not in London. I'd probably say 2 wins.
They're 1-11.
Sick.
1-11 in the last 12. And lifetime in the Pacific time zone, they're 4-15 in the Pacific time zone. Jaguars are going to have to beat history this week. They don't play well out west. They never have. Even the great glory days of Coughlin. They don't play well out there, by and large. And they just need to win a game on the road, man. Again, 1-11 in their last 12 true road games. Can they finally start establishing themselves in somebody else's house? That's somebody else is San Francisco. Let's talk to Dewey Wingard and Devin Lloyd. I was in the locker room earlier today, had conversations with both of those guys. You'll hear them next. It's a Wednesday night here in the city of Jacksonville, and we're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Fourth and goal at the one. They set up in the eye.
When you add up the moments and break down the best,
It's a hostile environment.
you're left with a performance-painting, high-performance play of the game
Up in the air, it is caught!
on 1010XL.
Jacksonville, it's football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar wrap plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Lauren Brooks here. Tired of shaving and waxing? At Hello Smooth Men's Spa, laser hair removal permanently reduces hair growth for smooth, stubble-free skin. It's life-changing. With over 400 5-star reviews, they're Jacksonville's trusted choice. Learn more at hellosmooth.com.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
Unlike those big corporate-owned stores, Beard's Diamonds doesn't rely on AI to help you find the right diamond. Beard's Diamonds specializes in DI, Diamond Intelligence. As Town Center's only locally owned jeweler with international connections, Beard's Diamonds is the smart choice for choosing the right jewelry for any occasion. Our Diamond Intelligence comes from years of helping your Jacksonville neighbors and connecting them to beautiful, dazzling diamonds from top designers like Tacori and Verragio. Diamond Intelligence is about finding the diamond that expresses what words can't and leaves her speechless. And Diamond Intelligence is tapping into partners from around the globe to find your true treasure without the middleman markups and bottom-line algorithms. Come experience the local, loyal, and helpful difference of Beard's Diamonds in Town Center, home of Diamond Intelligence. There's nothing artificial about it. Beard's Diamonds, proud to be Jacksonville's jeweler at the St. John's Town Center.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payment by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in at a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. So start now by calling 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Laugh to defeat prostate cancer at the Comedy and Cocktails Awareness Event, featuring music, food, drinks, and of course, comedy. October 2nd at the Jesse Ball DuPont Center.
It's an evening of connection, laughter, and friendly competition, celebrating the creativity and resilience of our community with costumes, bowling, and prizes. To find out more about the Community Bowling Costume Party October 24th, contact Rebel Recovery.
Find out how you can be part of the cure for blood cancer at the Light the Night Walk at Five Star Ballpark November 22nd. Take the first step at lightthenight.org.
Trinity Rescue Mission helps the Jacksonville homeless community find the road to recovery by providing food and shelter, skills to enter the workforce, and breaking the homeless cycle. Learn about Trinity Rescue Mission at trinityrescue.org.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us till 10 o'clock. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Wednesday is always a big day down at the Miller Electric Center. William Cohen meets with the media. The locker room is opened up. And earlier today, I was down in the locker room at the Miller Electric Center. Had the opportunity to talk with a couple of Jacksonville Jaguar defensive players that have had very good starts in 2025. You'll hear my conversation with Devin Lloyd in less than 5 minutes. Coming up right now, I went one-on-one with Andrew Dewey Wingard. The guy's been absolutely fantastic. 3 weeks in, always love catching up with Dewey. And here is that conversation from the Jaguar locker room earlier today. All right, Hacker down here in the Jaguar locker room. Jaguars getting ready for the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. We got Dewey Wingard with us here on 1010XL. Dewey, how'd practice go out there today?
It was hot. It was hot, and the bodies are definitely starting to get sore and stuff, so definitely got to be better in terms of intensity and stuff like that. But, you know, it's a tough offense. There are a lot of motions, a lot of shifts, so we got to have a better day tomorrow.
3 straight games, 3 turnovers or more. You guys have forced 9 turnovers in 3 games. Why are you getting your hands on the ball so frequently this year?
I think it's just a combination of eyes on the football and then attention to detail. Like Coach Camp preaches, you know, eyes down, punching the ball out every day. And then, again, we're just executing on the back end to put ourselves in position to make plays. So everything is kind of melding, and, you know, they come in bunches, so we could have a stretch where we don't get a lot of turnovers, and they're still emphasizing it now that can't happen. So we're still, every single day, no matter what, really focused on it. And when you focus on something, you usually get some good results.
I know the 24-hour rule is in effect, but you're one of the longest tenured guys in here. Fan base on Sunday thought, oh no, here we go again. And then you guys made a play. Devin made it, recovered after Tyson forced it out. What did that play alone mean to this defense moving forward?
Well, again, it completely shifted the here we go again mindset. And that's been something that has plagued this team since I've been here. Just like, exactly what you said, just here we go again. Like, here we go again. And that thing, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But we finally had the collective consciousness to reverse it and power through it. And it feels good. So we just got to keep it going. And like you said, 24-hour rule, like we play the Niners on Sunday in Santa Clara. So if you relax for a second in this league, you'll get humbled quickly. So really got to dial in. You obviously played college ball out there, but what does it mean to travel to the West Coast? It's been getting a lot of conversation this week. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care anymore that I'm from there. You know what I mean? It's like I'd fly 5 hours, but it's a good vibe out there. You know, the weather will probably be fantastic. It won't be as hot as it is out here. So excited for that. And then that's really about it. You see McCaffrey. Obviously, they do have some injury problems, but they have Christian. Ricky Pearsall had a really good game last week. What do you see from that offense? Yeah, I mean, you don't really need the playmakers. It's not like you lose a lot of guys. The offense is the offense itself. Like, they run it so well that you can throw anyone in there and they're going to have some success. That's, nothing against those guys. They're great players. It's just a great offense, how Shanahan runs it. So a lot of shifts, a lot of motions. Like I said, it's all putting a lot of pressure on the defense to get your eyes right and in the right spot. And then when you add playmakers like that, it only just adds another element to it. Final moments with Dewey Wingard, complimentary football. We talked after the Carolina game. It was complimentary football. Last week was the epitome of complimentary football. You guys get the turnover, offense goes and wins the game. What does it mean to have complimentary football for the first time in a while here? Yeah, I mean, it's great to just go out there on defense and be able to anchor in there and kind of win a game. That's the best part for us. Obviously, we gave up that touchdown, which was tough, but we were able to hang in there and deliver. We didn't deliver the week before in Cincinnati, so we bounced back. That felt really good, and those guys made a play when they had to, and that's what I loved from those guys on offense. No matter how the day had went, they responded, controlled what they could control, and made a big play for us, so that was huge. Final question. Fan base is excited. 2-1. Do you guys sense the energy in this city? I mean, absolutely. You can always sense it here. Like, I remember in 22, the playoffs, like, Duval's a great place when it's going good. So it only just adds to us wanting to play great, and it's great having our fans on our side. You know what I mean? There's been times here where, and I don't blame the fans. It's like the product on the field is the product on the field. But when we're all together and in this thing, and our fans are getting rowdy and yelling at other players and stuff like that, I love it. That's why I love it here. So hopefully we can keep that going and just build it into January with a packed house out there, because nothing under the lights in January in a playoff game in Jacksonville is one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. So I just want to get some more of that.
Do we appreciate it. Best of luck on San Francisco.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go, Dewey Wingard with us here on Hacker After Dark. And yeah, look, I mean, it's all business there. The 24-hour rule is a real thing. We obviously talk about it. I've been breaking down the Houston game all week. They flush it, win or lose, and they move on. It is all about Christian McCaffrey and San Francisco. And the interesting thing is we really don't know who the quarterback's going to be yet. Both Brock Purdy and Mac Jones were limited today for the 49ers. In fact, Ricky Pearsall, who had a huge game for San Francisco last week, did not practice today with a knee injury. So it is a banged up San Francisco team. But as we talked about earlier, man, you got to take that with a grain of salt. The Jaguars 10 days ago lost to Jake Browning for the second time in 3 years. I don't care how injured San Francisco is. If you don't come to play, you're going to get beat, i.e. Jake Browning 10 days ago. So thank you to Dewey Wingard. That was one of my interviews earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center. I also had the opportunity to catch up with a guy that I think is probably playing the best football of his career. He's been good in the past, certainly average to above average at times, has struggled at times in his career. But right now, and maybe it's a contract year, maybe that's why, it's certainly in the conversation. But Devin Lloyd has been fantastic at the early part of this season. Absolutely fantastic. I had the opportunity to catch up with Devin earlier on today down in the Jaguar locker room. Jaguars getting ready for the 49ers on Sunday. We got Jaguar linebacker Devin Lloyd with us here on 1010XL. Devin, how'd practice go out there today?
It was good. It was a toasty one, but I think for the most part, everybody got the job done today. We got to just come back and have another good day tomorrow.
There's a thought in the fan base and with the media that you're playing some of the best football of your career. Do you think that as well?
I'm not really thinking about that. I'm just thinking about, doing my job at the highest level and letting the results be what they are. I just, want us to come out on top.
When you and Tyson make a play like that Sunday against Houston, what does that do for this defense moving forward?
It's good. We got to keep it rolling. We got to take that ball away. The goal is +2, but we want at least 3 every week, and so we got to keep that rolling.
And you think the 30-year history of this franchise, never before 3 straight games, forcing 3 or more turnovers, does that mean something to you guys? You've done something that nobody's ever done here before?
It's always cool to make history. It's really good to win ball games, too, and takeaways are a big part of that. And so, like we said, we want to keep that rolling.
Final question. What have you seen from San Francisco? Long trip out of the West Coast. What have you seen from the 49ers on film?
Yeah, they got, some really, really good ball players. A lot of shifts and motions on their offense. It's going to be, one of those games where you got to be really disciplined. Everybody's got to be assignment sound, technique sound, disciplined in all aspects of the game. So it's going to be a fun one.
Devin, best of luck. We'll be watching.
All right. Thank you.
There you go, Devin Lloyd inside the Jaguar locker room. And I'm not sure if enough people realize that. In fact, I didn't realize that till, I guess, yesterday, that in the franchise history of the Jaguars, they've never had 3 consecutive games where the defense has forced 3 or more turnovers each game. We're talking a lot of football that's been played here in the last 3+ decades. And the fact that they've gotten 9 turnovers in the first 3 weeks, they've equaled the mark they got in 17 games last year, is just a testament to Anthony Campanile, the new scheme, and the playmaking ability that is going on out there with the Jaguars. And you think about it, again, we talked earlier, they're 2-1. And I have so many people come up to me and say, man, they should be 3-0. They should be 3-0. Well, that's one way to look at it, right? They should have beat Cincinnati. Jake Browning did what he did, and the Jaguars lose. With 5 minutes to go against Houston on Sunday, when the Texans are driving inside the Jaguar 30 and they convert that 3rd and 2, and Nico Collins has the ball in his hands at the 21-yard line, and the Texans can bleed the clock, kick a field goal, and probably win the game, you're staring 1-2 in the face at that point. But then Tyson Campbell ripped it out. The ball bounced right to Devin Lloyd. I'll tell you this, longtime Jaguar fans, how many of those bounces have the Jaguars got over the years, at least recently? Not very many, man. The ball never seems to bounce into the arms of the Jaguars. It certainly did on Sunday. It's like Devin Lloyd was a magnet for that football. It was great to see. Devin Lloyd isn't a contract year. Travis Etienne isn't a contract year. Is that attributing to their good start so far? I don't know. Perhaps. Certainly, we can talk about it. I'm just happy that both guys are back to what we believe they could be and what they have been in the past. Etienne, first healthy year he was here in 2022 was sensational. Devin Lloyd at times has been good. Other times he's been out of position. They haven't used him right. Ryan Nielsen last year had no idea what to do with him. I'm not really sure if Mike Caldwell knew what to do with him very well either. Anthony Campanile knows what to do with him because Devin Lloyd is a force right now on that Jaguar defense. Thank you to Devin and to Dewey for joining me tonight from the Jaguar locker room earlier today here on Hacker After Dark. Coming up next, my buddy Leon Searcy. You hear him every day on Prime Time. You also get him weekly during the year on Hacker After Dark. And, of course, you get him every Sunday on the fifth quarter. You'll get him this Sunday, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the 49ers go final with myself and the coach Gerald Ingram. Let's look ahead to San Francisco. Let's talk about 2-1. Let's talk about a trip to the West Coast. All points in between. Former Pro Bowl offensive tackle Leon Searcy joins me next right here on Hacker After Dark.
Swing for the future of veterans and military spouses at Operation New Uniform's second annual Patriot Games Golf Tournament. I'm Michelle McManaman.
And I'm Pete Langlois. Join us Monday, October 6th. Register today at onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here for the best weight loss program I've ever been on. In fact, I had my monthly meeting with my coach Kate earlier today. I'm in the maintenance program now, but that doesn't mean the coaching stops. I still meet with her as often as I need to, get the guidance, get the direction that I need if I still need it, which it's always good to have guidance and direction. And that's what Awaken 180 does. When you're on the program, man, you meet weekly, you develop a game plan for the week, but even after you reach your goal weight, like I did, you go into the maintenance program. You still get coaching. You still get that same guidance. It's like a lifetime help with Awaken 180 weight loss. Once you lose the weight, they want you to keep it off, which is unlike a lot of other weight loss programs. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800 and do what I did. Get involved with Awaken 180 weight loss.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass. They say you're going to see a big difference, but what does that really mean? It means a live local person on the phone, a smooth, easy process, skilled craftsmen, and excellent customer service all around, with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab Crab House.
Has any Major League Baseball player ever hit 2 grand slams in the same inning?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Fernando Tatis of the Cardinals hit 2 grand slams in the same inning in 1999. Both came off the same pitcher, Chan Ho Park of the Dodgers.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the 49ers, Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. The 2-1 Jaguars, the 3-0 undefeated San Francisco 49ers. And, of course, 2 hours after that game goes final, you'll get the coach, Gerald Ingram, myself, and the Pro Bowler, Leon Searcy, for the 5th quarter. Speaking of the Pro Bowler, let's talk with a man you hear every day on XL Primetime. We get him weekly here on Hacker After Dark. That is my buddy, Leon Searcy. Leon, how are you, man?
I'm good, bro.
Leon, 2-1. Vastly different start for the Jaguars than where we were this time last year, coming off a big division win over the Houston Texans. Your thoughts last Sunday, Jacksonville getting it done there late in the 4th quarter?
Well, I mean, hey, it was an ugly win. Absolutely, it was an ugly win. But you know what? I'll take it all day. I've had my share of ugly wins throughout my career. And when you win them, it's much better to fix the problems when you're 2-1 and then to deal with the problems when you're 1-2. I think offensively, we struggled again with drops. I think we couldn't run the ball effectively in the first half. But we found a way to figure it out. Because, this team last year, I like this team's resilience. Because last year, this team would have quit by halftime, 3rd quarter. Wouldn't even made the game. Texas would have jumped all over us and we would never came back. But this team fought through adversity. They found a way to win a football game. And that's all you can ask for in the NFL because they come far and few. It's hard to win in this league. Absolutely hard to win in this league. I think the defense right now, I think this defense is suffocating. They get after it. They're physical. They're nasty. They're tenacious. I think they understand. They're a wrecking ball. They're causing turnovers. And what they're doing is in the red zone, they're not letting you in. I mean, they're simply they're taking it upon themselves to keep you out the end zone at all costs. Now, yeah, we got beat on that double move. It was ugly. I mean, Tyson Campbell bit on that, but then what does he do? What does he do a couple of series later? He goes, he strips the ball, he causes a fumble. Turnover in our favor. It ultimately led to the drive that ultimately gave us the 17 points to go up ahead and ultimately win the game. So, if this team ever figures out how to play complementary football, offense, defense, and special teams, we can do some special things this season.
I agree. They're off to a good start at 2-1. Leon Searcy here with us on Hacker After Dark. Leon, you mentioned the drops, and it was a lot of guys. It was Parker Washington. It was BTJ, ETN. I mean, they've had 13 drops over the first 3 weeks. That is the most in the league by far. Leon, is that mental? What is the issue there in your opinion?
I mean, it's mental. It's unprofessional. I mean, you're paid to catch the football. Now, ultimately, you could say that maybe the receivers are trying to catch and run, all that kind of stuff. I mean, the yak yards could be an excuse to why they're dropping the balls. But, man, let's start with the fundamentals first. Let's catch the ball and worry about the yards later. I mean, because that's always an outlet or an excuse for a wide receiver is that he's trying to catch and turn up the field and everything. Man, at this particular point, we've had so many drops. Hack, I just want you to catch the ball, and if you have to roll over and lay down, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. The drops are maddening, no doubt about that. And look, the Jaguars are 2-1. despite the offense. I mean, you could argue the offense, quite frankly, was bad for most of the game against Houston. They weren't great in the opening day win against Carolina. So I think if you're Jacksonville and if you're a Jaguar fan, being 2-1 with the way the offense has looked has to be pretty encouraging.
Yeah, you've got to clean up. You got to clean up a lot of things, Hack. You got to clean up the penalties, the illegal shifts, the legal procedures. Yeah, I mean, this team should be 3-0. You got to clean up the drops. Yeah, I mean, the offense just hasn't looked as fluent as we thought it would. The running game was kind of stymied in the first half, but we picked it up a little bit in the second half, got 75 yards, especially. We had some key blocks and some key runs down the stretch that ultimately led to us taking the lead. But, yeah, it's a work in progress. I mean, the offense is a work in progress. I'm telling you, if we could just get to the point where, I'm going to say it again, we just play complementary football where our defense is playing the way they're playing, offense gets things going, the special teams. That's the only way you're going to be able to beat teams like the Niners, like the Chiefs, like Seattle, like the Rams down the stretch. If you're not playing complementary football, bro, you don't win those football games.
Couple more for the former Pro Bowler Leon Searcy. You hear him every day on Prime Time, and we're lucky enough to have him weekly here on Hacker After Dark. Leon, let's go to your bread and butter, the offensive line. 3 games in, I think you got to be pretty pleased, right? A couple of sacks given up, but nothing outrageous. The running game is one of the best running games in the NFL. There were a lot of questions about this O-line coming into the year, certainly, but I think 3 games in, they certainly are getting a passing grade.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's too early to give them their flowers because it's early on in the season. But what I've been watching, what I've been seeing, because, Hack, the first thing I do is when I watch a game, I'm watching the O-line and what they're doing. So I can always assess how good the players are going to be based upon how they block up front. And they've been doing well, bro. Absolutely. Especially in the run game. I mean, that middle 3 is getting it done when it comes to the gap blocking that they're doing with the pulling and the trapping and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and then I have to give Anton Harrison. I could give Walker Little his due because, he went up against Daniel Hunter, and he struggled a little bit, but not mightily. But Anton Harrison, his battles with Will Anderson, man, he got it done. He absolutely got it done. I'm talking about his transition out, his stance, his punch, his sit, his finish. It was spot on. And I hate to say it, but listen, over the last 3 years, I've seen him go up against your boy Anderson. He's rocked his world game after game after game. Shutout after shutout. So, yeah, that offensive line, you just got to keep it up, man. Don't sprain your wrist, pat yourself on the back, man. We got a long season. Long season. You see, I say it like this, Hack. Now that I see that you can do it, I'm expecting to see it week after week after week.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And again, this week against the San Francisco 49ers out in the Bay Area. We'll get to that game in one moment. Leon, defensively, man, you got guys that are just simply playing a lot better than they did last year. Again, it makes you wonder what the coaching staff here was doing last year. Hines Allen looks like the Hines Allen of old. Devin Lloyd looks like he's playing the best football of his career. Love what Trayvon Walker is doing as well. There's a lot of real bright spots on that defense.
Hack, they're having fun playing attack-style football. And I remember there was I remember when I was at the Steelers, Dick LeBeau had this on his wall. He said it had field, fun, feast. If you enjoy kicking the other team's ass. And this is what our defense is doing. They're swarming after the football, whether it be run, whether it be pass. They're deflecting passes. They're intercepting. They're strip fumbling. Man, they're opportunistic. They are feasting, and they're having fun at it. That's what it's about. It's having fun, running to the football, making plays, disrupting offenses, causing confusion. Devin Lloyd's having a hell of a season as well. He's going into his contract year. He's getting after it. He's putting pressure. He's got interceptions. All those guys, man, they're playing complementary football. They're holding each other accountable. They're having fun out there. making plays, and I just love it. I absolutely love the way the way our defense is flying around making plays, and not just making plays, but they're making crucial plays down the stretch. I always said this about this team the last couple of years, maybe the last 2 years. It frustrated me so much that everybody last year or the year after that was looking for somebody else to make a play. Everybody looking around for somebody that they make a play. You be the playmaker. You be the guy to make a difference. And I think that's what I'm seeing now this year, the way our defense is playing. They're making a difference. They're flying around to the football, and they understand that each and every one of us on this field is a playmaker.
Final moments with the former Pro Bowler Leon Searcy. Leon, that brings us to this Sunday. The Jaguars travel out to San Francisco to play an undefeated 49ers team. Leon, East Coast teams struggle out west. I think the Jaguars in the last 19 trips to the Pacific time zone, they're 4-15. Now, granted, there were some bad Jaguar teams mixed in there, but even you guys in the early to mid-90s when the organization was just getting cranking was struggled at points out on the West Coast. I mean, is that just talk for media guy like me, or are there issues for East Coast teams going out to the Pacific time zone?
Well, I mean, it's the issue, Hack, if you make it one. I mean, if your mindset is that we don't play well on the West Coast, then guess what? Collectively, if you think like that, you're going to play like that. You've got to be able to go out there, understand this is a business trip, and the 49ers are in the way, and that's the only approach you can take. So, but listen, what I saw Monday night when the Ravens played the Detroit Lions, that's how you go into somebody's stadium and make a difference. You control the line of scrimmage. You get after them in the run game. You get after them with sacks and interceptions and fumbles and all that kind of stuff. That's the blueprint. When you go into somebody's house, you kick in the door, you pull up a chair, and you eat at their table. That's what it means to go and play on the road. And this team has to have that kind of mindset going up against a very good 49ers team.
And look, it's a long trip. It's a good team, but San Francisco's a wounded unit. I mean, no George Kittle, no Nick Bosa, probably no Jawan Jennings, no Brandon Ayuk. Purdy's probably going to play, but I don't know if he'll be 100%. I mean, Leon, there is no doubt this is a golden opportunity for the Jaguars on Sunday.
Yeah, we can't worry about what they're doing and how they're stressing, and we just got to handle our business. If we clean up the drops, if we're more fluent on offense, and we're physical up front with the offensive line running the football and do the same things that we're doing on defense, man, we can beat this team. We absolutely can beat this team, but we've got to be on par. We've got to be on par with everything, because this team is well coached. They execute flawlessly at times, and you're going to have to beat them. You're not going to slip into a win. The 49ers are the type of team and organization where they don't give up. They don't give layups. You got to shoot jumpers to beat them. You absolutely going to have to shoot jumpers. It's going to be a 60-minute fight, so you might as well buckle up. This ain't going to be no walk away. This ain't going to be no track meet. You're going to have to buckle up, put on your big boy pants, and you're going to have to fight this team for 60 minutes.
And again, you will get the fifth quarter, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the 49ers go final. The coach, Gerald Ingram, myself, and the Pro Bowler, Leon Searcy. A little bit of a later start, Leon. We're probably looking at about 9 to 11 Sunday evening. Hopefully we're talking about a victory, get a nap early on Sunday morning, and I will see you Sunday night for the fifth quarter, my friend.
I'll be there.
There you go, Leon Searcy with us here every week on Hacker After Dark. Let's talk more about the Jacksonville Jaguars, some of the young players that have really contributed, including Bashel Tootin, who's already found the end zone a couple of times this year. And let's also shift gears a little bit and talk about, well, the epic disaster that the Florida Gator 2025 season is quickly becoming. Joe Deleon does a podcast covering the world of college football for A2ZSports.com. He's also one of their main NFL draft analysts. We'll talk Jags. We'll talk Gators. We'll do it next. Joe Deleon, A2Z Sports, right here on Hacker After Dark.
Your play-by-play home of Bulldogs football is 1010XL.
The Bulldogs are road dogs as they head to Baldwin Friday night at 6:30 on 1010 AM.
It's the start of our favorite season in Jacksonville, football season. Let's get hyped and let's get the home in tip-top shape and let's get that house zero-resified. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, they'll take care of you. Call the folks at Zero Res right now, 287-5727. Ask for the 1010XL special. Get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $139 plus a 4th room free. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 6th.
When it comes to my opinion, I love dropping the hammer. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes weekdays on The Frangie Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
If you want to sell your home or you're worried about selling your home or you've had trouble selling your home, let me give you the hotline to the help you need. That's the hotline to Chad and Sandy. 904-414-6200, chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to get the right price, and you need the right marketing, the proven systems. Chad and Sandy hit every base for you. Need to sell now? Instant offers coming. Fast, easy, stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy bring your home to market with unmatched exposure, whether you're buying or selling. Fast or max cash, Chad and Sandy have the proven plan guaranteed. And how about this promise? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. They are the real estate experts you can trust. So call them today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com.
After an accident, you may have an x-ray that looks normal, but you're still in pain. That's because soft tissue injuries like sprains and tears don't show up on x-rays. And if an insurance company doesn't see it, they may not believe you're hurt.
When they don't take your pain seriously, we fight back. We know doctors who are experts in diagnosing soft tissue injuries. They can help us prove that your pain is real, and we'll seek to get you paid for all of your future medical expenses.
Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJax.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the 49ers come up this Sunday at 4 o'clock. Of course, you will hear the game right here on 1010XL Radio. The 2-1 Jaguars, the 3-0 49ers. On the college side of things, the Florida Gators have a bye week, mercifully. Florida fans won't have to watch them this weekend, while Florida State has an interesting road test on Friday night against Virginia. Let's talk about all of it with Joe Deleon. You see him on A2ZSports.com. Does a great job covering college football and the NFL draft. He's also the co-host of the Ruffino on Joe show. And Joe's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Joe, how we doing, man?
Doing great. It's been a really exciting start to this college football season, and I'm just stunned how this landscape has unfolded for the state of Florida. It went in so many different directions that nobody was expecting.
Yeah, look, there's absolutely no doubt about that, and we'll get your thoughts on Florida and Florida State in a moment. But you also do a terrific job covering the NFL draft for A2ZSports.com, and I'm curious your thoughts on a couple of the young Jaguars. We'll get to Travis Hunter in a moment, but clearly, Joe, Base Shell Tootin', couple of touchdowns already, just 3 games into the year. The Jaguars have already traded Tank Bigsby. They obviously like what Tootin provides. Your thoughts on him? He appears to be somewhat of a steal in the 4th round.
Yeah, when he was coming out of Virginia Tech, he was a guy who, in the right system, I thought could really flourish. And then when you see him land with the Jaguars, that was one of those picks where a lot of us in the draft community were going, oh, that's the perfect fit. That was the fit that he needed. Knowing his speed and what he's able to do and the ability just to really gash opponents in space makes him such a tremendous threat. I don't know if he ever really is going to become one of those guys that is an 1,000-yard, 1,500-yard rusher, like really hit that true stride. But the fact that he gets to work alongside the guys in the current running back room, I think fits really well for him. If he can continue to just be a space killer, that is optimal, just tremendous value for somebody that you're taking on day 3. Having as many different body types and different players to turn to is what makes offenses successful. So seeing Tootin's early impact, it feels pretty vindicating that was a really great pick for them.
Yeah, it appears to be a really good value there in round number 4. And then, Joe, I know you and I spoke in the pre-draft process as well about Travis Hunter. We're 3 games in. Playing a lot more defense maybe than I thought early in the season. I know he had, I believe, over 80 snaps in the last couple of games between the Cincinnati game and last week against Houston. An early thought from you on Travis Hunter to this point.
Yeah, I've been a little confused by the approach with Travis Hunter just overall. As you just said, he's playing a little more defense than I think anyone thought, and the whole narrative in the preseason was he's going to be mostly a receiver and contribute on defense. I'm not saying that I think that there's been a lack of direction with him, but I feel as though that there should be some more consistency and there should be a clear path for how they want to grow and develop him. What is going to be his primary position? What are the primary ways that they want him to contribute on the side? I think having a more defined role is going to be better for him, because otherwise you're just giving him different hats and asking him to wear a different one every so often. So I think that we're going to start to see, because of his uniqueness and the difference in where he's going to be deployed on both sides of the ball, it's going to be a continual slow buildup for him reaching his potential. And it wouldn't shock me if by the end of the year we're not talking about him in the light that we had for him in the preseason, which is he can be tremendously gifted and be a huge threat in the league.
Joe Deleon is the host of the Ruffin on Joe show. You also see his terrific work, A2ZSports.com, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Joe, final Jaguar thought before we get into Florida and Florida State, and that's Brian Thomas Jr., struggling early in the year. Now, he had a great play towards the end of the Houston game. Hopefully that'll turn the tide for him. But I'm just curious, your thoughts as a guy that covers the draft. And I know you and I talked about BTJ last year. Boy, what a great rookie campaign. But then, man, just out of the gates pretty slow here in 2025.
Well, I think naturally when you've got a new offensive play caller, it's a little bit of a feeling out period for establishing a player's role like BTJ. And I wouldn't really hit the panic button just yet, especially just for the sake of when guys burst on the scene as rookies, the NFL is a lot more prepared to handle those guys. And the big thing that's been talked about is his inability to handle physicality and the way that he's almost in a way getting manhandled. And, you know, there's a lot of the conversations of is he not have the mentality to succeed long term as a primary option because he's shying away from that physicality, I think he's going to be fine. As teams try to get into his head more and more, I think that Cohen's going to be more creative in figuring out ways to free him up. They just have to find more matchups that are going to be advantageous for him. As I said at the beginning of this kind of talking point, it's going to take a few weeks for Cohen to really figure out how to activate him. And that patience is going to go a long way for him getting back to normal.
Yeah, it's a good start for the Jaguars because their offense has been less than stellar 3 games in, yet they still find themselves 2-1 with a big game this Sunday out in San Francisco. All right, Joe, the Northeast Florida football fans have enjoyed the 2-1 start. The Florida Gators have been less than desirable to watch on Saturdays. 1-3, and any hope and aspirations that Gator fans had about a dark horse college football playoff run have absolutely been crushed and destroyed in the playbook and the play calling of Billy Napier, in the quarterback play of DJ Lagway. Florida, you could argue, alongside Clemson, is the most disappointing team in the country 4 weeks into the year. Why has it turned into a disaster this year for the Gators?
I think that there's so many factors that came into this, and it's just really atrocious luck. And I was one of those people that was aggressively advocating for Florida, and I thought that this was really going to be a turnaround year for Napier. And it looked like everything was flowing in the right direction. I loved where their defensive talent was, where their sturdiness on their offensive line was, the weapons that they had to receive. Everything made so much sense. And most importantly, I was incredibly high on DJ Lagway. They last year had really bad injury luck, but they still prevailed and succeeded in some of the upsets they were able to pull off. We saw the variance in outcomes when they were the most banged up, especially when they didn't have Lagway last year. So I look at it right now, not having Caleb Banks and to be able to turn to him as your leader on your defensive line, I think has really hurt them, even though the defense for the Gators has been so good. And I think it bothers me, by the way, the amount of people that are just going, DJ Lagway stinks, he's bad, he's awful, he was a bust. I think that's so reactive and unwilling to give recognition to what he went through this offseason of struggling to get healthy, not being fully available during fall camp. He was in a spot where it felt like he didn't get the chance to develop chemistry and to hit his rhythm that every other quarterback in the country had during fall camp. Fall camp is so important. So when you find out at the beginning of training camp that he's still going through stuff and he's still trying to get healthy, that was the biggest red flag. And it's showing up on the field where he doesn't look comfortable. So whatever ends up happening with him, and if they end up letting him finish the year, or if they decide to shut him down, I don't put any blame on him. I put it on just the fact that his injuries caught up to him. The last part of this, and I think that Billy Napier might have set himself up for failure. I really wish he had passed on the offensive play calling to somebody else. I think that there's so many small areas where they have improved, but at the same time, the little mistakes keep costing them, the silly penalties, the missed tackles on big plays like they had against USF that set up the game-winning field goal. I really wish Napier had turned over the play calling to somebody else. I don't know who that would have been, but it feels like that is a misfire by him, that he wasn't more focused on just building the direction of this team in a make-or-break year.
Joe Deleon, A2ZSports.com. Joe, as we begin to wrap up, look, people around here, as you can imagine, have already begun to wonder who the next coach of Florida is going to be. It's a matter of when, not if, Billy Napier is shown the door, unless something very, very dramatic changes very quickly. You hear all the names, right? Me personally, I would call Marcus Freeman, make him tell me no. I would call Dan Lanning, make him tell me no, which they probably will. Lane Kiffin gets a lot of love around here. I'll give you 2 guys maybe off the radar for some Gator fans that I think would be interesting, and that's Brent Key from Georgia Tech or Fran Brown from Syracuse. What's your thought on what Florida may do in replacing Napier?
I love the idea of Fran Brown because I think that Fran Brown's clearly showing that he's the real next up-and-comer. And maybe you take him on now and his first year isn't super explosive, but there's a real opportunity for him as he's becoming this great head coach to, in year 2 for him, really hit his stride. He knows how to recruit. in the SEC, being at Georgia. It's just such a great fit. The three guys that I think make the most sense, one definitely a long shot and could fall into that Marcus Freeman, Dan Lanning bucket. Lane Kiffin would be that long shot. He's got ties to the state of Florida with his father, and it would make just so much sense. I would call him first and try and get him to say no, because it kind of looks like that Ole Miss has hit their ceiling financially. They can only do so much. The resources available to him at Florida would just be so vast, and I really think that we would see a completely different version of Kiffin. But the two guys that maybe aren't as exciting and wouldn't really go in line with the pivot off of what didn't work with Napier, and what I'm referring to is two guys that are coaching at the G5 right now, John Summerall at Tulane and Alex Golesh at USF. I think that you had the optimal opportunity audition for Golesh where he beat Florida. He's another coach that is building up and is a name in coaching circles that's constantly brought up. Take advantage of the opportunity to get him now with his background of being in the state of Florida at multiple stops. Grab him now before somebody else does in the next couple of years. And Summerall has been awesome. I love the way that he has every single year at his multiple stops has had so much roster turnover, especially this past year at Tulane. And he has still found success. I get it that they got smoked by Ole Miss this past week, but they are a steady team in the American Conference. I think that that is another guy who's just a big name that's going to start to turn into a likely candidate brought up for all of these big head coaching opportunities. So for me, those three make the most sense.
I like John Summerall, but I think you said it. That's going to be a tough sell to the boosters because they just did that with Napier, the big-time Group of 5 coach, and it kind of blew up in their face. We'll see what happens. Joe, we got 60 seconds real quick. Florida State, great start to the year. Their first road test Friday night against Virginia, knowing they have an enormous game a week from Saturday against Miami. Is there a look-ahead factor? Do they need to be concerned about Virginia on Friday night?
I don't think so. I think this Virginia team's pretty weak. They're very beatable. And I know Castellanos coming off of a little bit of being banged up from their last game, but I'm not worried. I think for the most part, this Florida State team is showing that they have a desire to blow out and dominate every single team that they're facing. I don't think that they're looking ahead to Miami. I think they're looking right at Virginia, and they are understanding that this is another chance to continue to build that momentum and that chemistry that they've had already to start this year.
Joe, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville, A to Z Sports.com, also your podcast that you're a host of. Where can people find your work?
Yeah, you can catch me on X at Joe Deleon, and then Ruffino and Joe Show on YouTube. We just hit 20,000 subs. We're talking college ball 4 days a week. For anyone who wants to check that out, a lot of great conversations. It was great getting to catch up, Ryan, and I'm very excited to see what happens for these Florida programs.
Well, Joe, we really appreciate the time. Thank you as always, and we'll talk again soon, pal.
Of course. Thank you.
He's down on the ground. He is down.
A freak injury can wreck a football team and affect their championship dreams.
Wait, you're telling me I'm about to lose my number one wide receiver?
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farrah and Farrah Injury Update.
Jacksonville.
On 1010XL.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big...
Whoa! See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Frank Franzi here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coil Fencing. Coil has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coil has been installing fences since before Emery Bellard installed the wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coil Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. Coil Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
Frank Franzi here. TopDressing.com commercials stick with me. They claim to turn St. Augustine grass into championship turf. Well, I'm going to try it at my Jacksonville Golf and Country Club home. You know I'm a golf lover. Top Dressing evens surfaces, promotes growth, repels pests. Staff's white glove, prompt, knowledgeable. My yard transformation starts soon. So visit TopDressing.com and see what all the hype's all about. I'm telling you, I'm in. Call these guys today. Dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com today.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
9 o'clock hour is here. Glad you're with us. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Coming up towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour, Logan Robinson, the owner and the founder of Knoll Game Day. That is the Sports Illustrated website covering Florida State, as the Seminoles, less than 48 hours from now, are up in Charlottesville to take on the Virginia Cavaliers. Gotta love those Friday night ACC tilts. Ugh, but it is what it is. Florida State, Virginia, so we'll preview it with Logan Robinson of Knoll Game Day. Also, the coach, Gerald Ingram, 18 years as a running back coach in the National Football League. Won a couple of Super Bowls up there in New York with the Giants. You hear him every Sunday with us here on the fifth quarter. The coach will stop by in less than 15 minutes to give his thoughts on the Jaguars heading out to San Francisco coming up this Sunday. Quickly to the Florida Gators. They are off this week. Mercifully, they're off this week, so Gator fans don't have to watch that nonsense. But it's not without news, Denmark, as Billy Napier today on the SEC teleconference put all worries and put all concerns to bed for every Gator fan. Fret not. He is still going to remain the play caller despite Florida scoring 33 points combined over the last 3 games and only 17 points in the last 8 quarters in losses to LSU and Miami. If Billy's going to go down, he's going to go down in just a waft of stubbornness if not a little bit of arrogance at this point, Denmark. I mean, I don't know who would call the plays at this point.
Anybody.
I know I'm available. You know, if they want to bring me down there on Saturdays, I'm more than available. I just got to get back Sunday for the 5th quarter. My 6-year-old, little hack, does a pretty good job on Madden. He could probably make something happen. You're right. Anybody at this point. I would take anybody calling plays down there outside of Billy Napier. What did you make of him saying, nope, I'm still going to do it?
Yeah, the sky is blue. That was kind of my opinion. I just, you hear the phrase, can it get worse? And we kind of said that after LSU. Well, it can. We saw the Miami game. So now I just kind of wonder, these next couple weeks, how worse can it get? Because that's the only question I really have. Lagway's going to play. He's in a boot. He said he's going to play, so cool, whatever that means. And he'll be the same Lagway. He's not going to turn to Tramel Jones. And, how worse is it going to get these next 3 weeks?
I mean, Gator fans' Saturdays have been completely ruined. That Texas game next week should be a huge deal. It should be an absolutely enormous deal. And it's just an afterthought now at 1-3, and all anybody's talking about is who the next head coach is going to be. Speaking of that, the more time that goes by, the more people you talk to, things you hear, rumors that abound, right? Who knows what to believe at this point? But I will tell you what I've been hearing more than once. I'll phrase it like that, more than once. How upset do you think Florida fans would be if it's not Lane Kiffin? Pretty upset, right? I think that's what most Gator fans want.
I don't know about most. I know a lot.
I don't even know if Lane Kiffin is in the top 3 or 4 wish list at the University of Florida.
No, it's probably not. And I would be surprised if he becomes the coach, just because the boosters aren't going to want that. So if the boosters aren't going to want that, then he's not going to get the job. So that's pretty much, that sums up that.
I mean, I think you need to wrap your mind around something. I think people need to wrap their mind around it, and I would be fine with it. I think Brent Key is in play. We talked about it last week. I firmly believe that. I think a guy like Eli Drinkowitz is potentially in play. I would put Fran Brown from Syracuse in play. Now, the argument there is he's only coached 17 games in a Power 5 school, and that's fair. But in those 17 games at Syracuse, he cost Miami a college football playoff appearance last year and just went into Clemson and beat the Tigers pretty handily. That's a pretty good 17-game run when you have victories already over Miami and Clemson. Of those 3, Denmark, would you have a preference? Drinkowitz, Brent Key, Fran Brown?
Definitely no to Eli Drinkowitz. I would take Brent Key, but I don't know if Brent Key leaves Georgia Tech.
Why no to Drinkowitz?
I mean, Florida's just going to be 7-5, 8-4, and then we'll be finding a new coach in 3 or 4 years.
He had Missouri in the top 10 last year.
Yeah, he did, and they're going to have a good season this year, and they have a soft schedule. But we all know how you got to win at Florida, man. You won at Florida with Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier by having a cutthroat offense and airing the ball out, and none of these guys are going to do it. And we're going to be sitting here doing the same thing the next 3 or 4 years, saying we got to get another guy, and it's just going to be the same rotation until we probably get a new AD, which probably won't happen.
Again, a bye week for Florida as they get ready for Texas coming up a week from Saturday. Coming up next, the coach Gerald Ingram. You hear him every week with me and Leon Searcy on Sundays during the 5th quarter. You also get him weekly here on Hacker After Dark. Let's talk San Francisco. Let's quickly recap Houston. Let's talk about the offensive struggles. Let's do it all. Gerald Ingram, the coach, joins me next on a Wednesday night here in Northeast Florida. It's Hacker After Dark.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
1010XL brings the swamp to the First Coast.
This is Gators head football coach Billy Napier. Gator football all season long.
On Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football, 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Call 904-500-COOL. Ideal Conditions.
Do you trust the diagnostic you just got for your AC? Call Ideal Conditions now to get a free second opinion with a limited time offer of $50 off repairs of $300 or more. Just mention this station. For a limited time, we're doing $79 one-time AC tune-ups as well.
Call 904-500-COOL.
Honk if you see us. Call for service.
Ideal Conditions.
IdealConditionsJax.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass, still family owned and in business for 100 years. When they say you're going to see a big difference, that's for everything. Custom showers and spas, tabletops, mirrors, even replacing foggy windows, all at a more affordable price. And with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed, Lee and Kate's Glass is your best choice. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
The Friday night lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Get ready. Monday Night Football is coming to Everbank Stadium October 6th. And this is a matchup you won't want to miss. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are throwing it back in their Prowler jersey as they take on the Kansas City Chiefs under the primetime lights. Don't wait. Be a part of the action. Get your tickets now by visiting us online at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank for primetime football.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, it only costs for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 6th.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. The law firm of Farrah and Farrah and Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Go Gators!
Garrett Scantling here, and once again, thanks to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. My torn hip labrum issue is resolved thanks to Dr. Doward, and Dr. Acevedo keeps my feet healthy too. Training and competing, that's what it's all about for me. And Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has me in top condition.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
We've all seen the Nike logo on many famous athlete shirts and hats. But what is Nike? The answer next.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Nike is the goddess of victory. No wonder Scotty Scheffler wears that logo.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Jacksonville, All Elite Wrestling is coming home to Daly's Place for 2 huge nights. Dynamite Title Tuesday, October 7th, and a special Wednesday Collision, October 8th. Feel the real as the greatest professional wrestlers in the world deliver a homecoming to remember. Championship championships at stake on a Tuesday, and stars collide on a special night. It's AEW's Homecoming with Dynamite Title Tuesday, October 7th, and Collision October 8th. Tickets on sale now, starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Sunday against the division rival Houston Texans, the Jaguars will now travel out west to play San Francisco, an undefeated 49er team, but a 49er team that is very banged up. We already knew they would be without George Kittle. We'll have to see about the status of quarterback Brock Purdy, and now they will be without all-pro defensive end Nick Bosa. Let's talk about all of it with the coach, Gerald Ingram. You hear him every week on the fifth quarter with us here on 1010XL, and the coach is always kind enough to join me here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how we doing, pal?
Oh, it's a great day in Jacksonville with a win.
There's no doubt about that. A much-needed win, Coach. And as we were running the clock back to Sunday to take another look at the victory over Houston, it wasn't perfect. In fact, it was far, far from perfect. But the key element, Coach, is that the Jaguars found a way to win, and I think that is a very valuable thing for them moving forward.
Definitely. That's the key thing, is finding a way to win. It's, as you saw across the league yesterday, there were some tough situations out there. Some people won special teams, and some won offensively, some won defensively, but teams had to fight to win, and that's what we did. We found a way.
As a former running back coach, again, 18 years as a running back coach in the National Football League, you've had a lot of interesting situations with offenses you've overseen. The drops on Sunday, Coach, I mean, it was a comedy of errors for about the first 55 minutes of that game offensively. It just was not very crisp, not very clean. Certainly you love the win, as we're talking about. You much rather take the W than the L, of course, but a lot to clean up, and it really starts with those drops, does it not?
Yes, it does. You know, any way you can get a dub is great, but you know, in the three games that we played, as far as trying to strive to be a great offensive team, we keep finding ways to hurt ourselves. It's not totally what they're doing to us, you know, but the drops are an issue, and that's, you know, it's a manageable issue, and they got to, you know, this week in practice, they got to focus on the ball and finish their eyes on the ball, and expect to see that, you know, and then on their own, they've got to find time on their own, because that's their job. All the skilled guys have got to find a way to catch the ball no matter what and what the situation is. And got to handle third down situations better. And, you know, we got to have more plays, a few more first downs, an extra more 10 plays or so, and more runs. I think we do better when we run the ball as well.
Coach Gerald Ingram, you get him every week on the fifth quarter. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, it has been a less than stellar start to the year for Brian Thomas Jr. going back to those drops. Obviously, BTJ has had his fair share the last couple of weeks. But the catch that he made at the end of the game Sunday there at the 2-minute warning, 46 yards to set the Jaguars up in a position to take the lead. You have to hope a moment like that, a play like that, is the beginning of a turnaround for Brian Thomas Jr.
Well, definitely it is. To end up on a positive note and being able to help the team find a way to win as well. You know, it continued. I give the kid a hell of a lot of credit. He came back out there and he kept trying. He had to fight his way through it and get better. It wasn't perfect for him, you know, but it was still better. And it's got to end up on a positive note for the whole team. And everybody has to play better on offense.
Coach, how would you assess the performance of Trevor Lawrence on Sunday?
Well, I thought it was an average game for the most part. I thought for the most part, the ball went where it was supposed to go. And I thought Liam put him offensively in position to make plays, and he put his skill guys in position to make plays. And other than one bad decision and not knowing where the flat player and his responsibility, you know, he should never have thrown that ball. Throw it to the tight end, whatever you do, but don't throw that ball, you know, with the understanding of coverage. But other than that, you would say grading out, you know, he was okay there. Accuracy in certain things, making sure that you get enough, you know, on the ball. You know, he could have had a touchdown on the one ball. to BT on the sideline, throwing a little bit longer. He had him beat. He did have a step on him. You want to have those. The post route, there were a couple plays, accuracy-wise that he would like to have back, but I thought it was just an average game, from that standpoint. Now, he did get the team in the right checks and situations, which was good. That was great to see. He's understanding what's needed out there to get the best plays. Houston had to solve their run game issues. They've been horrible, okay? And they want to make us one-dimensional, okay? So, you tip the hat to them in the first half. We were 1 for 6 on third down conversion and didn't get a chance to run the ball as much, okay? Second half, we hit them in the mouth. We actually moved people at times, We were inconsistent being able to do it, but we did see that, hey, we are better when we have better rhythm in the run and the pass, and it helps you can see it helped our pass game. They threatened our run. So it helps our play action pass and our pass game open up our receivers, and receivers catch the ball.
Coach, I know you and I talked about this on the fifth quarter, but you look at the adversity that this team faced, right? You look at the challenges of Brian Thomas Jr. dropping the balls and then making a play, Tyson Campbell giving up the touchdown to Nico Collins, but then coming back and stripping the ball from Nico Collins, a game-changing play. The entire week, Liam Cohen was asking, how will this team respond to adversity? It's one game, it's one sample size, not to jump to too big a conclusion, but clearly for what Sunday was, it was definitely a response to some adversity.
For what we've seen over the years, and Hack, that they're showing grit. And that was the best thing that could happen that we've seen. They fought no matter what we did to ourselves or what they did to us. They just kept fighting back. And that's the difference on getting a dub. Okay. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters is who's going to crack and then who's going to find a way to win. And that's what they did. We've seen it the other way in the past, and it was great to see it go our way. And hopefully this is a continuation of the rest of the season.
Final moments with the coach, Gerald Ingram. You get him every week on the fifth quarter here on 1010XL. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, final thought from last week before we turn our attention to San Francisco. Boy, Joshua Hines-Allen, that was Joshua Hines-Allen from 2022 and 2023. There were times in Sunday's game where he looked unblockable. I mean, if he plays like that the rest of the year, this defense could be very, very scary.
I think he's put it on his back to be a leader, that he wants to be a consistent. I think every week he has come with the same motor so he can show the guys on defense, this is how we play as a pro. And that's what I'm proud about that kid, because the sack total may not show, but the way he's playing hard every down, it is. And it's making a big difference throughout the whole defense.
There's no doubt about that. It was fun to watch. Now let's turn our attention to San Francisco. Coach, you coached in Jacksonville. You also coached in New York with the Giants. There's always talk about East Coast teams going out west and the struggles of East Coast teams on the West Coast. Certainly here in Jacksonville, the West Coast has not been very kind to Jacksonville over the years. Is there something to East Coast teams going out there? Is it as tough as they say it is?
Well, I don't think that as much as a plane ride, to be honest. Sometimes that you gotta. It's how you attack your team mentally, and how you prepare them to handle the on the road games. I think that's more crucial than anything. And then sometimes you end up playing a later game, so you have to adjust to that a little bit, which you hate. As opposed to, us playing at home. I don't think they're as good as they used to be. They're a different team. I think they're a winnable team. I think when we played them a few years ago, they were the dominant team in the NFL that didn't win the Super Bowl. But they're not the same type of team right now. And obviously with the extra injuries that they have. But their game against Arizona was just like our game. it's going to be a physical game. They play physical. Arizona played physical. You look at the stats, it looks similar, and it's going to be a tough game. But I think how we approach practice this week and mentally going out there, I think it's a winnable game.
They have an interesting quandary. They're already without George Kittle. They're going to be without Nick Bosa, obviously. We found out earlier this week he's done for the year. Brock Purdy's status is still up in the air. But the 49ers play a huge division game against the Rams the Thursday after Jacksonville, 96 hours later. They are 3-0. Can Purdy play twice in 4 games? Or if he can't, are they more prone to sit Purdy again so that he can play in that big division matchup on Thursday night following the Jaguar game against the Rams? That's all things you need to think about if you're Kyle Shanahan and that coaching staff, correct?
To a certain degree, I think from what coaches think is you got to win one game at a time. And who's the best person to get on the field? Because you never know how the game's going to go. You don't know the extent of his injury and how much durability he has with it. You got to find a way to win this game, and then worry about the next game. Because if you have to make that substitution next game, go ahead and make that substitution next game.
As we begin to wrap up, Coach, look, no one's going to pick Jacksonville to win, and I'm not going to say they're going to be playing with house money because they obviously want to go out there and they want to win the game. It's going to be a tough chore going to San Francisco. It's an undefeated 49er team, albeit, like you said, with a ton of injury issues. It's actually pretty impressive. They're 3-0 based on all the injuries that they've had. But what do you hope to see on Sunday between the Jaguars and the 49ers? A young Jaguar team trying to find their way, and what will be one of the marquee games of the week. I mean, the 2-1 Jaguars, the 3-0 49ers should get a lot of attention this week. It is a great opportunity for Jacksonville.
What I'd like to see is this week in practice that the defense says to them in this group, they're going out there to show that we got great pride. And we got a great defense, and we've been building something here on defense, and we're going to keep this game in the game and play sound physical football and just take it to them. And our defense and our offense is going to come together and cure what we have to cure and find a way to win. But the defense is finding the way to have swagger. And you go out there and beat a West Coast team, physically defense, to me, that's pride. I take it on the defense.
And the defense has played great 2 of the first 3 games, the 2 games they've won against Carolina and Sunday against the Houston Texans. The coach, Gerald Ingram, 18 years as a running back coach in the National Football League, 2 Super Bowl rings on his finger. You get him every Sunday on the 5th quarter with us here on 1010XL, and we're lucky enough to have him weekly here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, thank you as always. I will see you for a late show. Make sure you get a nap, Coach. We're going to be on a little later on Sunday, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the 49ers go final. Thank you, my friend.
Love talking Jaguar ball. Have a good day.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family-owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Jacksonville is my hometown and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to brandonroofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. Florida State and Virginia, the first road test of the year for the Seminoles, comes up Friday night in Charlottesville. Interesting that it's 30 years since Florida State lost on that epic Thursday night up there in Charlottesville. Hopefully for Seminole fans, history will not repeat itself, but the Seminoles find themselves 3-0 on the year, and if they get past Virginia, boy, the battle that sets up a week from Saturday against the Miami Hurricanes. Let's talk about all of it with Logan Robinson. He's the owner and the founder of Knoll Game Day, and Logan's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Logan, how you doing, man?
Doing good, Ryan. As we were just talking before we recorded this, is really it's a great start for FSU. Yes, I think everybody's looking ahead early to that Miami matchup, but still a big time test for them on the road for the first time this season for Mike Norvell.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We'll get to the Virginia game, Logan, in one moment. I mean, the last two games were what they were, right? East Texas A&M and Kent State, but Florida State did what they were supposed to do and absolutely destroyed both opponents. Did we learn anything about the Seminoles in the last 2 weeks, or are we going to learn more about them on Friday night?
I think we've learned that this team with coaching has done a good job of development. So with Adam Fuller no longer being Florida State's defensive coordinator and then Alex Atkins, who is your practical co-offensive coordinator, things just felt out of bunch. You look at the offensive line as well. You're seeing development from your 2 deep and 3 deep. That's the things that you take away when you look at smaller opponents, lesser talent. You want to see who the guys are behind your starters and just if anything happens, it's football. You're going to have injuries. We've seen a lot of guys who come in not look like it's a crazy experience for them. They come in, they play, they're doing their assignments well, they're playing with physicality. Some of them are pressing a lot more than anything that we had ever heard of during fall camp or spring. So a lot of good surprises across the board, I'd say, from these both games. And also, too, putting up a lot of points as well. Florida State, as we all know, struggled immensely offensively all across the board. They couldn't get anything going with your wide receiver room. Definitely in the run game, we're seeing Gus Malzahn find that success, and he had that success against Alabama in week 1. But now you're on the road, and that's the thing that gets a little tricky of just understanding, hey, you're going to be in a more hostile environment Friday night, and you're going to go through some adversity in that game. How do you respond? But so far, I've been pretty pleased just seeing what they've been able to do with these lesser opponents and the guys in the 2 and the 3 deep.
Logan Robinson, the owner and the founder of Knoll Game Day, with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Logan, Tommy Castellanos has been outstanding. I know he got beat up a little bit against Kent State. I know there was some issue with the ankle. It appears minor. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, so we spoke with Mike Norvell yesterday. He did say that Tommy is at a day-to-day. He feels optimistic that Tommy is going to be available to play on Friday night for Florida State now with the new ACC injury updates. Those will be posted, I'm expecting, tomorrow at the latest. We might get some today, but with the new ACC rules and conference play, both teams have to give injury updates at least 48 hours beginning then before game day. So we'll get a little bit of a better evaluation. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if you do see Tommy Castellanos listed on there. Now, next to it, though, it's not like the NFL where they put down, okay, did he participate in practice, or what is he dealing with, ankle, leg, whatever that is. So it's not, I would say, as much detailed on the NFL side, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Tommy's name out there. But I personally think on Friday you'll see Tommy play. I actually saw after the game, he was on Instagram Live with a few of the players in the locker room. He told everybody that he was fine. He's good to go. And we also saw him celebrating with the team, dancing around on the sideline against Kent State. So I think there's some positive signs that he'll be out there Friday night.
Logan, it's Virginia on Friday up in Charlottesville. The one thing I know about Virginia is they score, and they score a lot of points. Now, they haven't had the best competition. They are 3-1 through 4 weeks, but how much of a challenge will this be for Florida State?
Well, like you just said, they do like to put up some points, and that's something that Florida State is going to have to do a good job of with Tony White's defense. They've got to find a way to get to the quarterback. They've got to play assignment football as well. And, you look at, what Florida State is actually bringing into this game. Someone that I'm very excited for that it will make his debut, I'm expecting, is Kevin Wynn, who is your true freshman, your top recruit in this last year's class, defensive tackle. He came in big size during the spring, a little too big. Coach Storms, which is Florida State strength and conditioning coach, trimmed him down a good bit, but he's an absolute animal and monster with physicality on the inside. And I think this team, at least the defensive line interior-wise, is going to get a step I was going to say an upgrade overall, because you can match that over on the other side in tandem with Daryl Jackson. And I think Terrence Knighton, Florida State's new defensive lines coach, is kind of just ready for this debut of a young man that I've heard a lot of good things about. So Florida State adding in on the defensive side as well, and Florida State's going to have to make sure that they limit the amount of points that Virginia is going to put up on Friday evening.
The Seminoles, Logan, were awful on the road last year. In fact, I don't think they won a road game, if memory serves. I mean, they were really, really bad. It's going to be interesting. It's their first road test of the year. It's a Friday night, kind of a quirky game. A lot of people will be watching. It's going to be the only college game on. I mean, what is the thought about Florida State hitting the road for the first time this year?
Well, I'll tell you what. When you saw where Florida State had a program record, 8 touchdowns on the ground, and how many yards they also had on the ground, make things simple for yourself. That's exactly what I think Gus Malzahn and the rest of this offense and Mike Norvell, that's going to be the game plan for this. Don't need to do anything crazy here. Establish the run, do what you did against Alabama, and show that you're ready to play with more physicality, more tenacity, and also communicate very well on the defensive side, and things should go smoothly for you. I think Tommy Castellanos, the last 2 games, they were testing a lot of things, going deep, trying to build chemistry with his arm, with some of his wide receivers, including a young star in the making with Mekhi Danzy, who is a track star. And we saw him make a highlight grab, also a touchdown as well this last week. And he also did the same thing against Alabama. So they're trying to build a lot of chemistry for Tommy Castellanos with his wide receivers, and Deuce Robinson as well, who had a big game as well in the second game of the season. So there's a lot to like about how Florida State can establish this offensive rhythm and continue that. It might just be more on the hands of what we look at the defensive side with Tony White.
Final moments, Logan Robinson, the owner and the founder of Knoll Game Day. All right, Miami next week. That is going to be a huge battle, 7:30 Saturday night. Miami's off this week. Florida State is not. Concern about a look-ahead factor for Florida State with Miami lurking?
Well, it's hard not to have that in the back of your head, because if you go through recruiting and high school, these guys, a lot of them have played with one another. So they're already probably exchanging texts. Of course, fans are have been looking forward to this for a while. Miami fans have nothing else to do, so they're of course already in that game week feeling going into this game. We're probably going to get, college game day. You've got Lee Corso coming in town for a return, so there's already a lot of chatter and hoopla going on. So it's going to come down to Mike Norvell and the way that he sets the line of, hey, this is a massive game for Florida State. Like you were mentioning earlier, this is their first road game. Don't get too mentally caught up and everything looking ahead and such. And I think that's where Mike Norvell, one big pro of his is that he's a really good communicator. He tries to deal well with his players, hands-on as well. But now the factor of Gus Malzahn taking over the reins as a play caller and your offensive coordinator, Mike is able to do a lot more things and make sure to set that standard of where they're at mentally going into week by week. And I'm pretty sure that message has been sent in a stern way that you got to keep your head on looking forward straight at Virginia, because it's a short week. You got to quickly recover, get back, and then this team is going to be traveling here in about 48 hours to Virginia. So I think for the most part it will be a lot of we'll have to just see. That's the thing. Is Florida State over kind of what they were last year on the road, or is this a new team? And so far I think they're showing that to us.
Logan, final question. We got about 90 seconds. You look at that schedule, and you and I talked about it in the preseason. It was the 4 big games, right? It was Alabama, Miami, Clemson, and Florida. Well, Florida is awful, and Clemson might be the most disappointing team in America. Not to get too far ahead of the story here, but if you take care of business against Virginia, you take care of business against Miami, Florida State's probably going to be favored everywhere else on that schedule heading down the stretch here.
Yeah, they are. Clemson, like you were mentioning, it's complete, utter, just disappointment, like you're saying. Dabo Swinney, he talks so highly about that team coming into the year, and Kate Klubnik can't get anything going. There's no wide receiver play as well, which you always think of Clemson having absolute monsters there on the outside, and Clemson has fallen off. Then you see over there with what's going on with DJ Lagway and Billy Napier and them having no offense as well. It really is coming down to what is, as we're looking ahead as we speak to that Miami matchup. And moving forward, Florida State does go on the road, though, and to a hostile environment up there in Clemson. And Dabo Swinney always plays the Noles very well, so that one's just not a cupcake game for you for the Seminoles. But, Florida State, it is now shaping up to be where they have a strong chance of, vying and competing for an ACC championship. I wouldn't be shocked if you see a rematch in Charlotte between Florida State and the Miami Hurricanes, and I'll be very interested to see. You might not even see just 2 matchups between those 2 rivals. You could see 3 potentially if they see each other in the college football playoffs.
That would be wild. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Logan Robinson. Logan, tell the good Florida State fans here in Jacksonville, the ones that follow Florida State, about Nole Game Day and the coverage you guys will have as game day approaches on Friday evening.
Yes, Ryan, we've got tons of content at NoleGameDay.com, Sports Illustrated's only source to Florida State football coverage and basketball as well, but more specifically what Florida State is doing on the football field. And also, too, we're on YouTube at Nole Game Day with score predictions along with injury updates, injury reports, and also, too, all kinds of coverage going into this Virginia game. Will be actually live tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on our YouTube. So come hang out and check it out.
Logan Robinson, the owner and the founder of Nole Game Day. Logan, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again soon, pal.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
And thank you to Logan Robinson, the owner and the founder of Nole Game Day, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark, as we're inside of 48 hours away from Florida State and Virginia. That's right, a Friday night ACC tilt between the Seminoles and the Cavaliers, the first road test of the year for the undefeated Florida State Seminoles. You would think they should take care of business relatively easily, but it is a road game, and they got Miami, a gigantic game coming up a week from Saturday. Could there potentially be a look-ahead factor? No, we'll see. But again, thank you to Logan Robinson, the owner and the founder of Nole Game Day. We spent some time on that. But as you can imagine, most of it was about the Jacksonville Jaguars today. They were back at work down at the Miller Electric Center, a hot practice Talked to a lot of the guys in the locker room today. Everyone said the same thing. It was hot out there as they begin preparations for the San Francisco 49ers. Jaguars and the 49ers on Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL. And then myself, the coach Gerald Ingram, and the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy will have the fifth quarter for you 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Niners go final. Well, that will just about do it, man. Crazy busy Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Logan Robinson, the owner and the founder of Knoll Game Day, the coach, Gerald Ingram, stopped by to look on the Jaguars' 2-1 start to this point. Joe Deleon, A2ZSports.com. Talked a little Jacksonville Jaguars, a little Florida Gators, a little Florida State Seminoles as well. My buddy Leon Searcy, former Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Jaguars. You get him every day on prime time, and you get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. And I went one-on-one in the Jaguar locker room earlier today with both defensive back Dewey Wingard and linebacker Devin Lloyd. Certainly appreciate both of those guys for taking time out for us here on Hacker After Dark. Now, we will be back tomorrow night on a Thursday, and we will do it all over again beginning at 8 o'clock. I'll bring you more from the Jaguar locker room as we will be one day closer to the Jaguars and the San Francisco 49ers. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Wednesday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Wednesday evening, and we will do it all over again tomorrow night on a Thursday beginning at 8 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
He flies under the radar.
You don't find